When I open up the fucking stall and I turn and I see that it's another recruit. So when I see it's another recruit and not a drill instructor, I'm like, oh, fuck it. It's not a DI. I still had peanut butter in my finger. So I'm like, and the kid looks at me and he goes, fucking heinous. And then he just leaves. And I wanted, before I had time to explain, like, no, I was eating peanut butter off my finger. So all you got to think from his perspective, he walks in,
and you're
right?
a shit eater.
And he just hears, the toilet flush, like, and then the stall opens and I just look at him and just licking my fingers.
In a world, 4 friends, 1 mission, to bring freedom to everyone involved.
Dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Doing a thing for the podcast.
Dude, just say the name.
Fine. It's the Freedom Friends podcast.
But I see everybody smoking, and I'm like, come on, everyone's doing it.
I mean,
and I'm like, that was easy.
No?
Don't let peer pressure get you, dude.
Bro.
Come on, all the cool kids are doing it. You want to fit in? Like,
Stand by your convictions, bro.
You don't inhale, man. You just fucking just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like a-
don't inhale.
I
Yeah.
inhale it, but that's because I'm
It's
a
like a
sadist.
hooker. You don't swallow.
Yeah.
would you say Clinton? Did you call him Clinton?
Yeah, that's the little.
I did not inhale.
Yeah. Don't fucking, but don't dip your cigars. It's a waste of cigars.
Why would you smoke pot and not inhale, by the way?
He's full of shit. But that's when
I
you
don't
could
smoke
say
pot.
Back in the
shit that
day,
they get
when-
away-
He's
the
talking
sh-
about Clinton.
Yeah.
The shit they get away with now, they can fucking.
Dude, yeah, I heard Hunter Biden
look,
did not inhale all that crack. That they just,
Yeah, that's,
If that's the one lie that we're gonna go after Clinton on, then yeah, dude's a hell of a storyteller at that
Right.
point. It's like, I did not kill
Yeah.
all those people.
yeah. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Be like,
but all the kids, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the kids, 100% fuck
Well, them
them kids.
14-year-olds on that island, goddamn.
I heard somebody say,
Clinton can blame all the
I heard
murders on
somebody
his
say,
wife,
fuck
so.
them kids. No, it was like, no, dude, like, fuck you, not actually fuck them
fuck,
kids.
fuck them
So,
kids.
like,
I didn't mean literally
It's
fuck
not
them kids.
literally
Jesus.
fucking children, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. He's like, hey, have you seen Bill lately?
He looks like shit.
Bill looks rough, man.
Yeah.
He's actually evidence that I think Hillary is a vampire.
She's a succubus.
Yeah, because she's
Yeah.
actually
She's fucking killing him slowly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I'm starting to think though, in this fucking crazy world that we live in, that she might have been a better option than what we got going on right now.
Then Biden?
Yeah, like it's all a shit show. But like at this point, like the man is reading, and he's like,
totally-
repeat the line. Like,
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
We
I
are
think
literally
that,
at the point of I don't think we chose the lesser of two evils.
Yes.
Like, I don't think Russia would have dared fuck with someone who just stacks bodies on
That's
a
actually a good
Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, so
like I will find you and I will kill you.
Yeah,
Be like,
like-
I'm actually scared.
even
I'm
Putin's
actually
like,
fucking
yeah, I
scared.
ain't fucking with that bitch.
I will arrest you and you will suicide yourself.
Yeah, right? Maybe.
That is kind of scary.
Yeah. I don't know. I still think they're all pulling the strings behind the fucking cage, man.
Okay, you want to get me fucking started? I'm trying to shut the fuck up.
It's the Pentaverate.
Flipping tavern.
All
This
right.
is the last episode that's
Justin-
ever going to be aired,
Justin, take
ever.
control
We're
of
all
this
gonna
fucking
die.
shit show.
We're all
All
going
right,
to kill
fucking
ourselves.
kick it off. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Fuck
Fuck
boys.
boys.
God damn
Oh,
it.
fuck boys.
It is time. It's time for the Freedom Friends podcast. Brought to you by warfightertobacco.com. Use that code FTFO. Score yourself that fucking sweet 15% off. Of course, our buddies owellness.us for all your CBD needs. They got the tinctures. They got the freeze gel. They got the shit for what that'll They got the shit for what ails you? Yeah, that's what it is.
That's
You
what you meant
almost
to
said
say, yeah.
they have the shit that will ail you.
I almost did. Well,
Mikey, read the teleprompter. Jesus.
oh, sorry.
Repeat the line.
Repeat the line.
End of quote.
End of quote.
Where's his cue card?
I am not a robot.
Use that code FreedomFriends25. Score yourself a quarter off your order over there. And of course, our friends Icy Tech Cooler. Use that code
Fuck,
FreedomFriends10.
I still need to order freeze gel.
Get yourself, I keep forgetting to bring it to you. Get yourself 10% off with those guys with that code FreedomFriends10. You're going to see some different faces on the show today, boys. We do have our good old reliable friend Jim with us.
That's right, buddy.
Big Jim is here, famous from the episode "Fuck You, Sir," and many other episodes, including every time we make a pinky joke.
Can we go back and just rename all of them? Fuck you, sir. Fuck you, sir. Again. Fuck you, sir. One more time.
right?
Like, just,
Okay, for real. Fuck you, sir.
He's so small and so cute, though, isn't he?
yeah, it fits easily into overhead compartments.
And then filling in on the other side of the table, we got Justin Governale, man. What's up, buddy?
What up, dog?
Thanks for coming out, dude. We appreciate you taking the time on this fine Monday day.
Yeah.
Monday afternoon, if you will. Sitting in our fucking sweat box.
Well, it is 107 degrees outside.
You'll be all ready to fucking train after you're already sweaty, dude.
I mean, yeah, bro. Just after a quick shot of whiskey.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Pre-warm up.
Yeah. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna train. I gotta fight coming August 21st, allegedly. I don't know. I don't have the contract yet. It's kind of really, it's hard to get to kick in gear when you don't have the contract. They're like, you're going to fight. And it's like, yeah, right on.
Sure.
But then when they're like, here's
I'll
the
be here waiting,
contract.
guys.
Yeah, they're like, here's the contract.
Dude,
You're
just
like,
John
oh,
Daly
fuck.
that shit. Just show up hammered and barefoot. Just be like, "Oh, you're fucking."
And then after the fight, I'm taking off to El Salvador, August 26th.
I like El Sal.
Yeah, dude.
I've
I've never been there.
I spent 2 weeks down there, and short of like the people that were black bagged in a park by the state police, it was a great time.
I Googled what is the murder capital of the world?
Santiago.
Dude, it's in El
It's
Salvador.
Santiago,
So-
El Salvador.
Well, it's
I-
also where fucking MS-13
sorry,
originated,
it's San
man.
Salvador,
San Salvador.
El Salvador.
Sense out.
So that's
Which is
where I'm
the
flying
capital.
into. That's
You're
where I'm flying
going
into
to-
on purpose for that reason.
It's had
I
that-
want to get murdered.
It's had that title for like 6 years
Yeah.
now.
I know. I'm
So
so down. I'm gonna hitchhike.
you
That's the whole point.
recently-
Beautiful though. Have
You-
some pupusas.
You recently did a nice little South American trip.
Yeah, dog.
And that was cool. I was following you on social media with
Yeah,
it.
man.
And a lot of cool shit, man. A lot of cool
Man,
experience.
I've been to South America twice. Been to Central America once. About to go back to Central America again. The last trip, there's a reason I can't talk about it, but you will see here soon.
What,
The
the statute of limitations or?
yeah, it's
Something like
nice.
yes. She was 18. No, I'm kidding.
that. It was international water, so they can't prosecute.
Yeah. No,
right next to the abortion clinics.
I was on I can't say what TV show, but I was on a TV show and I had to sign an NDA.
Redacted.
Oh, hell no, dude. Hell no.
Go ahead and redact that one, Justin. Goddamn, Jazz. Stop guessing shit right.
Yeah, I legitimately can't say anything, but yeah, I was,
We can redact it.
yeah, please. I actually was on. But yeah, this last trip.
What are you, psychic? Fuck.
I don't know. I've never met the motherfucker.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm just going
Anyway,
off personality
on a
shoes.
redacted thing, he actually guessed correctly which TV show I was just on. And I can't talk about it yet. It'll air here in a couple months. It'll be great. But yeah, that was my last trip to South America. Can't talk about that one, but I did go to South America and Central America here within the last 6 months. Definitely life-changing. I haven't talked about the Central American trip. I wrote a 10-page article about it that might get published in Coffee or Die here soon, maybe not.
Nice.
I submitted it. Literally changed my fucking life.
I actually appreciate that site actually does more like lifestyle stuff.
Yeah.
Than
Yeah.
just like, hey, here's this piece of gear or here's this bullshit. Like they actually
it's
have
good
like,
editorial.
yeah, they
in
have
there.
some
Yeah.
editorial content that's actually really solid.
Yeah. So what's interesting about that whole trip was I wrote, or I called Marty, right? And I said, hey man, can I write an article for you? And he said, yeah, sure. What are you going to call it? And I'm all about like post-military. I've been out for 15 years. Like, why do I still think about the fucking military? Why? Right? I don't know why. Right?
Because
It's-
brainwashing is powerful.
It's just like you want to let go of these experiences, but it's kind of hard. Like, you know, you get blown up a couple times.
What branch were you?
I was in the Marine Corps.
Oh, see, that explains it.
Yeah. Fucking.
Because once you get out of a cult, it stays
Yeah,
with
yeah.
you.
Once a Marine, always a Marine, or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it pretty much means like once you're gay, you're always gay.
That's
is-
it's like
is
all
what that
those
boils down to.
Exmo
That's your
documentaries. Yeah.
problem.
I mean,
isn't it?
no, you could be
Right?
recreationally
Still
gay.
gay.
Dude, I have a stand up.
Everybody's at least a little gay.
I have a
Kinda
stand up
gay.
bit about serving the Marine Corps during Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Right.
Yeah.
And then I always open up with like, so I served in the Marine Corps during Don't Ask, Don't Tell, meaning you couldn't be gay and serve in the military.
No.
And-
Well, you couldn't be gay and admit that
And
you were
admit it,
gay
yeah.
while in the military.
But it was the same thing, right? And so I say, however, the Marine Corps made me gay. And then I talk about how in boot camp, some kids started laughing one time. And then the drill instructor's like, oh, you want to laugh? You want to be gay, boy? And then he says, get naked right now. And he's like, yes, sir. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I get naked. And then he looks around and this little aggro, he's obviously hiding something. Drill instructor looks around. And he's like, you know what? All of you get naked right now. And then I'm like, aye, sir. Like, sir, I signed up to like kill Osama bin Laden and like weapons of mass destruction and shit. It's 2005, sir. And he's just like, all of you get naked. And then he stuffs us all in the shower and he stuffs us in a corner. And this is a true story. Like, this is my bit though. People always crack up, right? And then when people laugh, I'm like, why are you laughing at my Me Too moment? Like, this is some serious shit. And he stuffs us all in the corner. And then I'm covering my dick and my balls, right? And he's like, squat up and down right now. And we're like, aye, sir. We're squatting up and down. And then
You
he
had
tells
a
us,
fun drill instructor.
yeah. And then he tells us to put our hands up in the air. And so we're like, aye, sir. And he pushes us all super tight. And I'm not even exaggerating, dude. Like, you cannot be gay and serve in the military, but literal penises are touching my penis. It's like, ba-blow, ba-blow, ba-blow. And it's just like, and like, God forbid I actually
dude,
like this shit.
it's called pugil sticks.
Yeah. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that some of those penises were uncircumcised. Right? Yeah, that's fucking. No one should have
Dude,
to
you
see
should
that
never
shit.
go into a fight without your battle
Yeah.
rattle on.
And if people don't laugh at that part, that means you have a sad penis, right? Or you're not circumcised.
That
Whatever.
means that means they're racist.
But dude, that's literally isn't
Well,
that
just
kind of
because their
crazy?
little soldier had a helmet doesn't mean that they're
But now serving in today's military, like I'm not trying to get canceled or anything, but like you could literally
It's too late, brother.
you could literally cut your dick off. You know what I mean? And then be like, call me Jessica. It's like, Justin, I've known you for 30 days. Like, it's Jessica or you're a piece of shit.
So I got a question for you. So if you're combat arms
Yeah.
and you transition, can you stay combat arms?
Well, you can now because they opened up combat arms to females.
Yeah, but that
I meant
fucking-
functional combat arms.
I would say no.
I gotta run Scott's gig for him.
I would say no. So here's my beef with transgender in the military. I don't give a fuck if you're transgender in the military. Here's what I give a fuck about. Two things. It's twofold. One, it's my tax dollars paying for your transition. I'm not cool with that. All right.
Which PT standard do you have to hit?
The gender of your choice.
Yeah,
Fuck,
probably.
I fucked up.
I know, right? And
I could have
then,
been a PT stud.
Well,
this
anyway.
shit wouldn't have worked between when we were in, man. They'd have been like, fuck you.
I think your other point's the same point I'm going to have. Go ahead.
And my other point is, once you're going through the transition, you're non-deployable.
Right.
So you're combat ineffective. And at that point,
It's like
now it's like,
18
why
months.
are you even in the fucking military
Yeah.
if you're combat ineffective?
Why do you think?
We hired
Because
you
that
for
shit's
one
expensive.
fucking job,
Fuck.
man. We hired you for one fucking job, and your job is to be combat effective.
I don't know, dude. I went to basic with a guy that was there for a medical equipment repair specialist.
Man,
I don't know if you want that guy on a door stack.
You know
with
what,
It
you.
doesn't matter, though,
That
because
dude is
it-
making the same retirement I
Yeah.
am.
And then the fucked up thing
No,
is,
that dude signed a 4-year contract and already had a job lined up. From
Of course he did, 'cause by the time he gets-
like 210 or some shit.
Jesus.
by the time he gets out of that course, however long that fucking course is, he's
the
about
AIT
his shit's-
was so long,
Yeah.
you PCS to it.
yeah. But
Yeah.
by the time he's done, he's
That's
like,
crazy.
"Oh, I'm done my fucking enlistment."
For what job?
A medical equipment repair specialist. So they like fix MRIs and shit. And that dude was like, he had it all mapped out. He's like, I'm joining. It's my basic and then AIT, and AIT was like 16 months.
Yeah.
Which is a PCS move. It's a full, I don't know what the Marine Corps calls it, but
PCS.
okay. So it's a PCS move. So like literally at the 2-year mark, he was just going to be entering his unit, which was only going to be a stateside hospital
Right.
because
I'm
it was
surprised they didn't
major
give him a
equipment.
5-year contract for that.
So he did 4 years?
He did 4 years, and he
2
already
years
had
of
the
training.
job lined up afterwards that was paying like 200,000 plus because it's all licensed. And so he was like, I could have gone to college for this, or the Army's going to train me, certify me in everything. I'm leaving with every single certification, and I have a continuing education budget afterwards. And he was like, my career's set. I'll make 6 figures, and it was all paid for by the U.S.
That
government.
dude
and
had
I
a
was like,
fucking really
I was
smart
like,
recruiter.
dude, you fucking
Yeah,
figured
man.
it the fuck out.
Yeah, he cracked the code, bro.
Dude, my recruiters straight up lied to me, dude.
Yeah.
Like I was as they all do, right? But
Did they
it's-
pull out the little tick, the little,
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
little things,
fucking.
the little,
So
the
check
little
this
tiles.
out. I was actually supposed to join the Army, and I had a contract to go SF, but because I was in high school, I had to get a certain ASVAB score. Right? It would have worked if I took the test after I got out of high school, but they had some law that said like you have to score this because you're still
Did your
currently
Army
in high
recruiter
school.
really promise you an SF contract?
I swear to God, right? They call them SF babies, and so I was about to
Oh,
do
I know
it.
what they call them.
Yeah, so I was there, dude.
I just know how many of them actually exist.
So I took dude, I was a fucking PT. Like I had a 300 PFT start to finish in the Marine Corps, or 298 in boot camp, 300 every other test because the boot camp one's harder. And so I'm scheduled to go in, and the day
That's
before,
'cause that 3 miles is bullshit in boot camp, man.
I mean, yeah, it's
that
fucking
bitch
way
is
longer.
Like fucking almost
It's way
4,
longer.
bro. Like it's
Dude,
like 3.5.
I ran, and it doesn't matter. Like I'm not
If you
trying to.
notice a PT test in boot camp was never on a track.
Yeah, it was always super long, and I'm not trying to beat my chest and shit, but I did run a 4:49 mile in 8th grade. Reason being, my mom would never fucking give me rides anywhere, right? And I'd be like, Mom, I'm going to so-and-so's house. And she'd be like, I'm not going to take you. And I'd be like, they're here for me, Mom. Bye, I love you. And I'd fucking run in 110 degree weather, fucking 5 miles. I'd get there, turn on their water hose, be like, is so-and-so home? And they'd be like, what? Where did you come from? I didn't see it as a workout. It was just like, that's how you got around. And then
On the other side of town, I got here in 12 minutes.
That's called the 90s.
then
everybody.
they ran us. Yeah, they fucking ran us on the football team, and all these track stars were on there, and then they timed us, and I fucking smoked everybody. My coach was like, "Holy shit, son, you're my mile runner." And I was like, "What, coach?" He's like, I don't want to run track. They're like, "Too bad." And so anyway, PT stud my whole fucking life, and I'm gonna be an SF baby. And the day before I go to sign up, because I had to retake the ASVAB, the fucking Marine recruiter hits me up and he's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm hitting the punching bag. He's like, oh, Marines like, guys that hit punching bags. And I'm like, yeah, I know, yeah, but I'm already going to the Army. He's like, dude, what time are you signing up tomorrow? And I was like, 10 a.m. And he's like, show up at my office at 8 a.m. And I was like, okay. So I show up to the fucking Marines office and then he starts giving me all this talk, dude. And he promises me like force reconnaissance, dude.
Fucking poached your ass.
I'm colorblind, by the way. And I had a waiver for the Army, right? Because I'm colorblind. And so, anyway, he fucking makes me do that little stupid bullshit, whatever. And then he's like, look, man. And
travel and adventure, man.
The line that got me was, do you want to go Army because they're promising USF? And I had a $10,000 bonus. So do you want to go because they're promising USF and they're throwing bonuses at you? Or do you want to be a man? A Marine. And I was like, yeah.
That's how they get you.
And so Army recruiter walks outside to smoke a cigarette, looks inside the Marine office, pops his head in, dude. They start screaming at each other. Marine goes out. And the other thing that got me was, and this is where PT standards actually play a part. The Army dude, he was chubby, right? The Marine guy was like all shredded in shape, fucking straight up, had some bullshit job in the Marine Corps.
He's a
But
fucking
the Marines have better markets.
He's probably a supply
and
guy.
so he
All he
fucking
did was live in the gym.
yeah. He pokes his finger in his chest and he's like, oh, fucking like get away. And so they make me pick right then and there. And then the Army guy's like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And I look around and I'm like looking at this jacked Marine and I'm like, I think I'm going to be a man. I want to be a Marine. And the guy's like, you're making the biggest fucking mistake in your life. And I don't regret it, but God damn it, they fucking straight lied to me, dude. Because they promised me like assaultman. I get a school of infantry. Assaultman's crossed out with black marker. And I was like, excuse me, Sergeant, why is assaultman crossed out? And he's like, are you colorblind, boy? And I was like, I am, Sergeant. He's like, well, and I'm like, well, my recruiter promised that I can go. And he's like, your recruiter lied, son. And I was like, oh shit.
Which is their favorite fucking line anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all good because when it was in Iraq, you get the Marine Corps Times and I'm fucking reading it. And then I see an article for this fucking shitbag recruiter that was dressing illegals up in Laredo, Texas. And he was passing them across the checkpoint to get to San Antonio. And he'd be like, I'm going to sign these guys up. And there were a bunch of illegals. Right. And he fucking got busted. They were all legal.
Oh, he was doing a coyote side
straight
gig?
up. And he
Nice.
fucking went to jail and he got kicked out of the Marine Corps. And I read that and I was like, yeah, you fucking
Wasn't there a bunch of Marines that were
cocksucker.
doing that in California too?
Yeah.
So my boy Calixtia Pisa fucking got pinched for that shit. Pisa, I don't know if you ever hear this, but I hope you're not in trouble still. Fucking, he was
They
a-
have
he was a
podcasts
good
in
dude.
prison?
It was his cousin. It was like his cousin. Like he was fucking going down. We were wondering, like, dude, how you drive such a nice car? Fucking like, he's like
Coyotes make bank, dude.
this cat's like corporal, bro, and he's like crushing money. He's got a house in Vegas. He's like fucking killing it. And we were like,
Yeah.
fuck's up, dude?
It's like I had an E6 that fucking always had whatever the newest BMW was. And I was like,
Did you ever hear about
the fuck are you doing?
marinemeat.com?
Marinemeat.com.
Did you ever hear about that?
I have now. I'm going to check it out right now.
It was a
I should
thing.
check
It was a
right
thing out of 29 Palms where
why am I not surprised?
because people are bored out there. But Palm Springs is a notoriously large gay community, and not just that, but it's a notoriously wealthy gay community, right? So basically, there was this rich guy who started a website called marinemeat.com, had this staff sergeant named
Redacted.
and that dude, we might need to redact his name. I don't want to get sued. Right? You know what you did. Fucking that dude was basically jerking off on camera and putting dildos in his butthole and just getting paid bank by this fucking old
gay
rich
for
gay
pay.
dude. Yeah, he was
Gay
gay for
for
pay.
pay.
But it was like gay masturbation. Like he wasn't like getting banged out by dudes. He was just like banging himself with dills and such. And that dude was fucking, he ended up.
Now we call that OnlyFans.
Yeah, exactly. This was
yeah.
like the first version of OnlyFans, and like he was fucking crushing it. He had like a BMW, was
it
just
does
fucking
redefine the idea of the suck, though.
fucking facts. Facts.
It's a fucking slippery slope, though.
Yeah, I bet it was.
From that to the probably lubed the shit out of it
Yeah, dude.
in more ways than one.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about, or how I talked about earlier, how I served during Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Like in School of Infantry, there was guys that just wanted out of the Marine Corps because, life sucks
Start
pretty much.
sucking each other off and
Dude,
shit.
they would fucking walk around and we all knew they were like, one of them was like a real machismo, like Mexican kid. And he would walk around with this other Mexican dude. And I can say that because I'm Mexican. So fuck all y'all that want to cancel me.
Say it in
But-
Spanish, dog.
Yeah. Que eran machismos y tengo acento, puedo hablar en español, pero tengo acento de guapo. Anyway.
There you go.
Fuck, I want Taco Bell
Yeah,
so
Taco Bell.
bad now.
Yeah. And so fucking these dudes would hold hands and we both knew that they were not gay. Like flat out, they would, homie and dog. And one of them came from the hood. He was promised by his Marine recruiter that he was giving an opportunity to travel the world and he could potentially find his mom. And this fucking kid signed up, swear to God. And so he's like, yeah, they
What
were
a dick fucking move,
Yes.
man.
so
Okay,
naive.
well.
Yeah, because his mom like walked out when he was young and shit. So I mean, whatever. So this kid was like, nah, dude, they lied to me, dude. I'm out, homie. So I'm like, oh, right on. How are you gonna do it? And a couple days later, boom, he's holding hands with this other Mexican kid, and we're all like, you are not. We all know. And then so the fucking sergeants were like, oh, you two gay? And they're like, kiss right now. And there's all of us right there, and they're like, kiss. And both of them are like. And right before they kiss, the sergeant's like, God damn it, fucking, you're gonna do, okay, stop. And then what they would do is like, we all shower together and like, dude, no, I don't even do this with like girlfriends, right? But like on purpose, so we would all tell on them. We all be showering in the rain trees, we call them. And fucking, we turn and like one of this like macho Hispanic dudes would be like rubbing the other dude. We'd all be like,
Dude,
you know,
you gotta be committed though.
I know.
That's not gay.
And at 18,
That was just basic.
You and I do that all the time.
Yeah.
but like at 18 years old, like now
No,
it's like
that's gay.
funny, right? We're like, man, we're comfortable. But at 18, you're like, fuck. And you just
Dude,
see
I
this two
literally
naked men.
remember coming back from our final FTX at basic training. So you have to march back. So it was 12 miles out. They call it Victory Forge. And it's the last week of basic, and it's an FTX. So you guys did it too. I don't know if you call it Victory Forge, but
We had some other weird.
they
fucking
call
name
it some.
for it.
Every basic training post has their name for it, but it's the last week of basic, and you march out. It's 12 miles out, and then so you get to the bivouac site, you set everything up, and then they do all these mock missions and and you march back. So we march back. We get back to Garrison, and they tell us to drop our gear. So we drop our gear, and they're like, "All right, rite of passage is in 12 minutes. Everybody needs to be shit, showered, shaved, in a fresh uniform." And we were like, "Oh fuck!" So there was 52 dudes in my platoon. So we all ran upstairs, and we had 9 shower bays, 52 guys. So there was like,
it can be done.
yeah, there was like 4 or 5 dudes a shower head, right?
Sure.
Yeah, that's
And
what you do in the
everybody's
Marine
sitting
Corps.
there, but you're just sitting there, and it's just like soap was getting sprayed around. Everybody was rubbing just whatever piece of meat was close. It didn't matter if it was yours or not or whatever. Like,
It's like just helping out a buddy.
yeah, it's not gay.
Well, it's
That's
like,
just
dude, like when you have 30 seconds to piss, and there's 85 fucking recruits. There's 3 to a uniro.
100%.
And like
You get over stage fright really fucking quick.
you really do.
That's
And
why I know how to
that's,
ski.
That's when I learned that you get looked down upon when you flick your dick to shake it.
Yeah.
People are like, Mikey, what the fuck? And I was like, what? And they're
You get that
like,
shit on me, son.
Are you into some weird shit or because I'm like flicking
Nah.
it?
So
I didn't like having to take a dump. So on wait a minute, raise your hand if you went to Parasylum. Oh,
That's
fuck.
just you, pal.
Yeah, fuck
That's just you.
So I'm assuming they have the same thing out there. At Rifle Range was the only place that they had the open shitters.
Yeah.
I fucking hated that.
Yeah.
That was
No,
the one
sucked.
thing. Like that's the one place.
That's the only
I
place
wanted-
they had it. In Pendleton, they're all open.
Really?
shitters.
I would have fucking. I would have been.
Fucking
I would have
everywhere,
been constipated
man.
for the whole.
Yeah, you're just
50
looking at some other kid, and he's like, you're
Yeah.
like,
Just
Nah,
making eye contact.
we had a guy that used to stand in the shower and would stare at you and shave his junk without looking at his junk. And I was like, dude, you were asking for an accident. Like,
What a
dude.
gangster,
But would
though.
sit there and just sit there
That's
and
the most.
shave.
That might be the most
shave his
intimidating
dick
thing
and
I've
like
ever
make
heard.
like full eye contact. Just
dude, I remember. So some kid got caught with peanut butter, right? In boot camp or whatever. So they fucked him up, and it was around Christmas time, and they made him like fucking butt scoot over and over holding the Christmas tree, and he just kept having to say ho 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 Merry Christmas because he was fat whatever, and he kept doing it, and then like an hour later he's like ho 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 Merry Christmas, and we're all like we all have to watch him forever and keep like our bearing, and so he got caught with peanut butter. So they're like, everybody fucking, you're going to the classroom. If I catch you, I'm gonna go through your shit when you get back. If I find any of you with peanut butter, I'm gonna fuck you up. And I had peanut butter that I would steal from the chow hall, right? So we go to a classroom, and the classrooms are the only places that have like closed, shitter stalls or whatever. So I'm like, well, fuck, you don't have to ask them permission to use the restroom. The drill instructors don't let you, as you know. So you ask some random dude, and I'd be like, he'd be like, shut up, go to the restroom, you stupid fucking recruit. So I go to the restroom, and I lock myself in a stall, and I just reach in my pocket, and I'm like, let me eat this peanut butter and flush the evidence. So I open the peanut butter, and I start fucking eating it. And then I hear somebody walk in. Well, you're all paranoid when you're in boot camp, right? So I'm eating this peanut butter, and I hear someone walk in. I'm like, fuck, it's a drill instructor. So I throw the peanut butter cups, like the little things of Peter Pan, in the toilet, and I flush it. And I open up the fucking stall, and I turn, and I see that it's another recruit. So when I see it's another recruit and not a drill instructor, I'm like, oh, fuck it, it's not a DI. I still had peanut butter in my finger. So I'm like, and the kid looks at me, and he goes, fucking heinous. And then he just leaves. And I wanted, before I had time to explain, like, no, I was eating peanut butter off my face. So all you got to think from his perspective, he walks in,
And you're
right?
a shit eater.
And he just hears the toilet flush, like, and then the stall opens, and I just look at him and just licking my fingers. And so every time I'd see that kid,
still tells that story.
he still tells that story. And so
This
whenever
dude was eating shit.
and I'd see him in other platoons, and as we'd be marching, he would like lock eyes with me and give me this look, and I like wanted to tell him with my eyes, like, no, I swear to God, it was peanut butter.
I'm
Like,
not
I didn't
fucking weird, man.
Yeah, I'm not
I'm
fucking
not
weird,
fucking
man.
weird.
I'm not fucking weird.
We had a guy that got kicked out from mental instability because a drill sergeant came in to do fucking bed checks. So we had the fire watch guys, right? He came in to do the bed check, walked into the bathroom, and this dude was standing in the showers in nothing but his combat boots and his patrol cover, sitting there just fucking jerking off in the corner.
Dude, I didn't get a boner the whole time.
No.
I did the
no.
last week. The last week I did. Like the
No.
last 2 days.
I didn't get a
fucking
boner the
tired.
whole
Infantry
time.
school, yeah, but not.
I just never got a boner, dude. Like,
Dude, but they fucking like we.
What was I going to
the
get a boner
stupid
on?
shit that they fucking do.
And
is
I went
just-
to a co-ed basic.
yeah.
And literally just that smell of like the fucking shithouse door on a tuna boat that was coming off of those women and stuff. I was like, I'm never
Nah,
gonna
man.
get
So
hard
we
again.
did. We did our fucking
Like this-
mess and maintenance at fucking on the 4th Battalion. So we had chicks.
Yeah.
And so I was a fucking juice recruit, and I fucked something up or whatever. And we were doing the fucking so the female drill instructors would come in, and this little fucking Italian female drill instructor with fucking bleach blonde hair and short hair, and she was fucking sexy as shit. And she's fucking chewing my
dude,
ass.
female hats are in shape and hot as
she-
fuck.
and she
dude.
was, like,
Let's
down
go.
here.
Mine was an angry
She's
black.
like, don't fucking take
supply
an eye.
sergeant.
And I'm just like smelling, like I could smell the perfume, and like her hair smelled good, and was like, oh, keep chewing my ass, sweetheart.
That's because she's
Chewing my
clean.
ass.
The ones that you go to basic with were just like, oh.
Yeah.
And that's like, I had a drill sergeant. Drill Sergeant Barry got busted from E7 to E3 for banging a recruit.
Jesus Christ.
At
Not
basic,
worth it, boys.
behind a dumpster.
They're so fucking stupid.
What a
man.
classy broad.
I've
yeah.
had sex next to a dumpster multiple times in California. It was fucking great.
Yeah.
But it was a thing.
California, it's a
Yeah,
thing.
but it wasn't 6 weeks into basic.
It wasn't
with a
6 weeks into
recruit that
basic.
doesn't
I would
clean
drive around in broad
properly.
daylight and like it's kind of fucked up to say it now, right? But it was the best sex I've ever had in my life. And we would do crazy shit. She'd say shit like, "Are you gonna fuck me next to a dumper?" Like next to a dumpster. All the shit you hear in porn.
In her dumper.
Yeah, and you want to fuck me in the dumper? Like, yeah, no. I said next to a dumpster, you sick fuck. Like, no. God, I'm so sorry. I
That
thought
is classic Oceanside
Yeah.
fucking primo
No.
chicks
This
right
is
there.
bro. This is like fucking 5 years ago, dude.
Yeah.
Like I got out 15 years ago. Like
This
it was
was last
great.
week.
Met her on Tinder, dude.
Oh, they're
it was
still
the
there.
best. It was the best. But then she started taining me, right? No pun intended. And by that, I mean, it was broad daylight. And dude, the sex just got so crazy. I would be like, a fucking homeless man's going to walk up and fucking, she'd be like, yeah. And as soon as I'd finish, I'd be like, oh, what the fuck?
You start feeling bad about yourself. Like,
yeah.
God,
You know
I'm
it's
a horrible
awesome
human
sex
being.
when you're ashamed of yourself after you
Yeah.
come.
Every
You're just
time.
like, oh,
Every
fuck,
time,
what-
bro.
What is wrong with me?
Best sex ever.
That was pretty much college.
You just
Dude,
look at yourself
that
in
was
the mirror
college.
afterwards.
So,
You're like, fuck did I just do?
I had 2 roommates, dude, and it got crazier and crazier. And then one time we're having sex. Now, when I say I had 2 roommates, I mean one dude slept in the living room, right? Because he was just some fucking cheap ass that just was renting a couch, right? And he had the same amount of money we did, but whatever, he's saving money. And he would shame me every time I'd bring a girl over. He's like, I will call that one Blackfoot. And I'd be like, Blackfoot? Why Blackfoot? He's like, because her feet were black. And I was like, she took her fucking heels off so she wouldn't wake you up because I told her I have a fucking sleeping fucking piece of shit roommate that doesn't want to pay rent in the fucking living room.
Just
He's
because
like,
I have a guy
"She's
on the
Blackfoot."
couch.
And then he'd be like, I will call this one the Whaler. And I'd be like, the Whaler. And he'd be like, and I was like, fuck you, dude. So it sucked. Anyway, on that notion, one time I was having sex with this girl, best sex I've ever had in my life. And she just gets crazy. Are you going to do this? Are you going to go do that? And then all of a sudden she's like, go get your roommates. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like he's literally listening to us fucking right now. Like no, best sex I've ever had in
Stack
my
up
life.
on the door and break through. Be like, let us
Yeah,
in.
yeah, it was the best, and they were both Marines, right? They would have been like, yeah, down.
They'd
I
have
would have
been
been down.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if I was sleeping on the couch, I'd be like, can I talk to you about your extended car's warranty? Oh, what do you know? That's how porn starts. But
Dude, my ex, her and I come back to my apartment in Oceanside one time, and my roommate has got his fucking bedroom door full on open. There is 2 girls in there, 2 dudes, both Marines that I knew, him and another Marine. And there's one girl that's just fucking naked on all 4s on his bed, and she's just like, hi. And I'm like, what's up, guys? and they're like, you guys want to get in on this? And I looked at my ex, and she was like, and I was like, no. Don't even fucking think about it. I was like, are you kidding me? This chick's one fucking step away from being a whore anyways. Like, no. I was like,
sex
absolutely
coward,
not, dude.
sex coward.
Dude.
Whatever you're into, buddy.
I waited
Whatever
until
you're
she
into.
left. No, I'm kidding. Fucking, yeah. I was just like, Jesus, man. Oceanside whores, dude. It's a thing.
No, it's just base.
I'm telling
It's just
you.
anywhere near a
It's
base.
something
Dude,
in
it
the
doesn't
water.
matter.
It's like I think the phosphorus soaks into the water supply and just turns them into skanks.
Dude,
I don't know.
No, it's because they know that every dude there is temporary.
Yeah.
At
They
the
also know that
worst,
on
you
the
got to
1st and
dodge
the
them for like
15th,
2 years. And
They
they're
also know
fucking,
that on the
they're
1st and the
getting
15th,
paid.
they're getting paid. So you're going to have free drinks. Yep.
I just wrote that article right for Coffee or Die, and it's a Barracks rat story. It's funny, but it's a Barracks rat story, and I don't say it. I'm not so vulgar with that. To be creative with like not using, like I use words like anatomy instead of fucking banging in front of all my friends
Instead of hatchet wound.
Yeah.
Instead of like a
And-
dick
and,
or butthole.
And dude, this chick, swear to God, first time that I ever had her come over to the barracks, she's like, "Well, where are you staying by?" And I was like, "Oh," and I'm a boot, like fresh in the Marine Corps. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm on Area 53." She's like, "Oh, Camp Horn, I'll be there in 30 minutes." And I was like, and I was thinking to my friend, like, "Dude, she knew where Camp Horn was. That's so weird." Like, I wasn't weirded out by it at all, dude. And then I passed her number around to my friends. She literally banged everybody in my platoon. They showed up to work on Monday, and they had
it's because those bitches have yellow footprints tattooed on their fucking back.
Yeah,
like,
man.
and she had my friend had a camcorder, and then it was like 5 of my friends, right? And they're like high-fiving, like passing around. And she's all like, yeah, like acting for the camera and shit. And then she kept texting me and calling me. So I'm like, hey, fucking, how was sex this weekend with 5 guys, ... at the same time. And then she responds back, not 5, 4. And I'm like, oh, lose my number. Please lose my number. Like, don't ever text me again. And I miss her. Her name was Priscilla. If you read the article, you read how that all went down. But
If you can call Freedom Friends, we can get him your number
hey,
back.
we can fix this for you.
Yeah. So Priscilla, let's find Priscilla.
I miss you.
He misses you.
I really miss you.
You know, it's
Like-
a lost love. You're the one that got away.
It was, yeah. It was the first like non what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say non-intimate, but sex is intimate. I mean, like, there was zero attachment in the Marine Corps, right? That was the first girl in my life. Like all the
Hey, it
girls
was
I
just a
slept
pump
with.
and dump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the women I'd slept with in my life, they were like girlfriends or someone that I knew or whatever. This is the first time ever in my life. I was just walking I was walking back to base to a fucking the bus that goes back to base to Camp Horno because I couldn't afford a fucking taxi, right? So I'm walking to the bus station.
On the green line.
I literally looked at her and then she's walking and I was like, hey, she's like, what's up? Boom, turned around, turned it into a night, dude.
Yeah.
We on that Motel 8 off of I don't know if you remember. Have you been to Oceanside? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that Motel 8 kind of by the bus station off of the freeway.
Uh-huh.
Right. Yeah. That's where it all went down.
Yep.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was the fucking best time. And in the morning, I was such a boot. I've been in the platoon like 2 weeks. Our staff sergeant, they just got back from Fallujah. I got to the barracks 4 days before they got back from Fallujah. It was fucking terrible. It's the worst experience of my life. But
I was gonna say, fuck.
yeah,
you
it was
were
terrible.
that guy.
Dude, I got to the unit 4 days before they got back from Operation Phantom Fury.
Yeah, there's
Which,
no way to be more of an outsider than
which-
watching
which-
a platoon come back from war.
Which
like it
unit?
was-
Which unit?
3-1.
Okay.
So they like went through
Dark
it,
Horse.
dude.
Oh, I was in 1-3. I was in Phantom Fury. I know.
Yeah, so they got
I was
back
across the street from them.
and like day
He's
one,
got souvenirs.
day one living in the barracks.
That chunk, that's from
Yeah.
Phantom Fury.
Nice. And day one living in the barracks, fucking they all get back and they're like, hey, what's going on? I was like, hey, what's going on, Lucas? And he'd be like, call me Peter. And I'd be like, Peter, really? Like, oh man, the fleet's awesome, right? And then they're like, Libo, and then they're like, where the fuck you think you're going? I was like, Peter, and they're like, it's fucking I, Lance Corporal. And I was like, what? Like, and then the hazing began, bro.
Yep.
And then they're getting wasted, dude, and they're showing us Polaroid cameras, like, look at this guy I killed. Keep pushing, Governale. You're like, what the fuck? And I lived in a barracks, like in an actual fucking like 100 beds in a room, like boot camp barracks, because Marine Corps couldn't afford fucking like rooms
In
and
Horno?
shit.
Yeah,
I was in
it's
Camp
dog
Horno.
shit.
The
It's
building
dog
literally
shit.
said demo spray painted on the side of it.
Yep.
There's no getting away.
I know
like,
exactly where
yeah.
that barracks was.
Yeah.
It's
And
gone
so-
now, finally.
yeah,
They
thank
finally
God.
got rid of it.
Yeah, and my
Yeah,
phone
because it said demo, so they tore down
literally
last
said
year.
demo.
Somebody had to call their congressman to make that happen, though. Like, there was a Congress.
We lived there, dude.
fucking thing, dude.
Every
Like,
morning, people would take pisses and shits and flush the toilets, and you're fucking shaving your face, and the sinks, I swear to God, would have backwash of like fecal matter and urine. Like you'd be brushing your teeth. Also, by the way, don't ever make a brushing your teeth motion whenever you're out with your boys eating at a restaurant, because you're like, dude, I was brushing my teeth, and then you lock eyes with someone. 'Cause that's happened to me anyway. But all the backwash.
I just make that motion without talking about brushing
fucking-
my teeth.
Just look at some random guy, be like, brush. You want your teeth brushed, brother? Like,
oh shit.
yeah.
Oh,
Fucking- and so, yeah, man. And fucking one time I do was cleaning the window and his hand went through, cut his fucking hands up and shit. Like we live there. So my phone would answer, or somebody would call my phone at 11 p.m. and I'd answer and I'd be like, hello. And then you'd hear like somebody from the other side of the fucking wall locker separating me and the staff NCOs. They'd be like, shut the fuck up, boot. And I'd be like, hi, Staff Sergeant. And I'd like have to go outside and take a phone call. It's terrible. That was the Marine Corps, 2005.
yeah.
My recruiter lied to me and then smuggled the illegals. Fuck that guy, dude. Piece of shit.
He's probably still in Leavenworth.
I hope so, to be honest.
They podcast in Leavenworth. Fuck you, man.
Yeah, right?
Dude, he went to one of my high school parties one time to recruit fucking kids. right?
I do this prime hunting ground.
Well, he was like, "Oh, you're going to a party? That's cool, dude. I want to go." So he goes to this party and he's drinking and shit. And then I got in a fist fight, and this stupid fuck is in the Marine Corps, dude. He's a fucking staff sergeant, and he runs over and he punches the dude that I got in a fist fight with, which is my boy. We've actually fought like 2 or 3 times. His name is Trey Volpe. I love that kid. But anyway, dude, what a dumbass. But what he did was he was just acting all cool. Underage drinking, because we're all like 17, 18. I signed up at 18 or at 17. And he's literally talking to kids on how cool the Marine Corps.
He's probably trying to pick up chicks, man.
Could have been.
I have a regular that actually just certified as a recruiter. And I was like, look at you. Just certified liar to kids.
Yep.
That's
Fuck
awesome.
that, man.
And I was like,
Well,
is that why you
good enough now?
Is that why you hang out in my store? You're waiting for the young and dumb to come through here? So you're gonna be like, what are you looking at college next year? You want to get paid for?
When the tattoo ban came and they were like, you can't be a recruiter with tattoos below your sleeves, I was like, fucking best idea ever.
Yeah.
Like I was fucking stoked because I got flagged while I was in Okinawa.
Not now.
They flagged me.
Did you see the change for the Army?
Oh yeah, you get like hand tattoos and neck tattoos and
Yeah,
shit
Neck
now.
and face tattoos, and now you don't need a diploma or a high school
Nah, they
equivalency.
rescinded that. So they rescinded that about 4 or 5 days after.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I was
that
like,
was short lived.
Yeah.
And they were
Because
like,
the whole people were like, whoa.
Let's not get fucking stupid.
Like
the biggest ban that I actually have a problem with is like, we don't take violent felons. I'm like, why? Just restrict what they can take.
Just a fucking penal battalion. Give him a weapon and fucking
They're
go.
like,
Bro,
who's a
that-
violent felon?
that
So
used to
only
be-
give him 11 series.
That
That's
used
all
to be
he's allowed
half
to
the
do.
Marine Corps, bro. Because literally judges across the country used to be like, jail or the Marine Corps, you pick. And they were like, Marines.
Yep.
Like,
So it's just an unconvicted violent felon.
yeah, basically.
I wasn't a felon by any means, but I was just some kid that would get speeding tickets all the time.
Dude,
right?
you already said you were Mexican. We made assumptions.
okay, fine. I'm half a felon. No, but dude, I would get speeding
Our
tickets.
Justin is too. It's cool.
I'm half white, half Mexican.
No. He's clean now.
He's half a felon.
No, he's got, you know.
He's a charge.
Because he did it.
He was charged.
He did it.
Sure.
He and the
Yeah, right. It's like
TSA.
we have a party
She
felon.
said she was 17, dude. I swear to God.
No, dickhead
no,
tried to
you
stick
can't-
it.
you
He tried to
can't
stick
take
a
guns
gun
on an
through
airplane.
through TSA.
I've taken ammo several times.
A stolen gun.
I like how it is now.
That-
It is now evolved into you tried to sneak a stolen gun
Yeah.
onto an aircraft.
At this point, I just sit behind my computer quietly.
What was it? A pistol?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was literally one of those. He had to fly the next day,
I just forgot to
Forgot.
take it
and he
out
was
of his
only
bag.
going to be gone 24 hours. So he literally took his backpack, shoved like fresh underwear and socks in it, and was like, "Let's go." And then tried to get on the bird, and he didn't take his firearm out of the bag. And the funny thing was,
I was in Florida and everybody blew me up telling me about it. And they were like, take a picture with you holding this sign.
that was me. I started that whole campaign.
But John Simons
just
is
because I
actually who
made
hit me
everybody
up.
pass it around.
Yeah.
So they took the gun away, right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
did.
they
Well, they
definitely
kinda had
confiscated the
to-
stolen gun.
Yeah.
When they found out
Oh,
it was
it was
stolen.
stolen.
He
It's
didn't
actually
know it was
stolen.
stolen.
I
In
did
his
not know.
defense.
It was stolen.
And he's not even Mexican.
Fuck,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
That was a trip.
He got off because he's white.
Yeah, I was about to
clearly.
say that. I was
It
like,
was
don't
like
do
a-
it. Don't pander. Don't
No,
pander.
it was like a Facebook marketplace buy,
Yeah.
and it turned out it was a stolen gun.
super legit.
it was
Don't
a-
buy guns on Facebook.
Yeah, it's-
Like, what the fuck's
yeah.
wrong with you?
I didn't get it off Facebook. It was a buddy of mine who's no longer.
That's not a buddy.
Nope.
That's
Yeah.
not a buddy.
Well, it's only
Definitely
half the word right there.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's not a good buddy.
Yeah.
He's got a pistol I want to buy because it's actually shot a man in the United States.
Truth.
You're not getting that, motherfucker. I may fucking rape you with this fucking pinky. But that might be what fucking happens. This fucking guy.
With that pinky, you won't even need to start in the shower.
I don't even have a 1911.
For a second, I was like, "How did
Look at
Jim
this-
shoot a guy and
look
get
at
to
his
keep the
pinky."
pistol?" And then it clicked, and I was like, "Oh,
You get to keep it if you shoot yourself. Like, that's-
Look,
touche.
motherfucker. In my fucking defense, once I blew it off, I fucking wrapped that motherfucker. I made sure I didn't bleed on my fucking floor, and I drove myself to the fucking hospital.
Would you blow off your
is there a
pinky?
hole in your office?
Yeah, it went through the window. So the flange rounds.
Oh
went
shit!
fucking-
You blew your pinky off. Holy fuck!
I was clearing my
I
weapon.
just learned that.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the math right now. Like, if you shoot yourself, and I was like, wait, they made pinky jokes, and then I looked
Yeah.
over, I see you don't have a pinky. I'm like, oh fuck, you blew your pinky off.
Yeah. So like, hey man,
Clear your weapons correctly, kids.
Take 10, homie.
keep it loose.
And Jazz was never seen again.
So
Man,
Justin,
I just
you mentioned you have a fight coming up. So your background, you're a MMA fighter.
Yeah.
How many you got on your belt now?
Total with pro and amateur, like 21, something like that.
Yeah. Nice.
It's a good time, but
What is an amateur fight? Is that just like?
just the rules are different.
Is it
Yeah.
behind the dumpster?
No, it's actually they're super legit venues. Just that you can't throw elbows or knees to the head.
Yeah.
Right.
They usually
Which-
and a lot of times there's shin guards involved. You have
and
like shin
bro,
pads and
I
shit.
had my first fight in 2011, right? And
My first fight was like 8th grade.
yeah,
Yeah.
my
I don't think it was his first fight.
no, it was my first fucking amateur fight or whatever.
Sanctioned?
But Yeah, I was in
fight?
Thailand, and
That makes a lot more sense.
yeah.
You get your ass whipped.
No, I
Real
won.
quick.
The
I won.
only things to do there are fight or fuck dudes. Like that's all of Thailand.
Dude, I
They
lived
don't
there for
look
6
like
months.
dudes, though. It's fun.
I quit my job and I moved there for 6 months. I was
How many dudes was
contracting.
there?
Where were you at?
I was in Phuket. How
Oh,
many dudes?
Phuket?
69.
Ah.
Yeah, I was in
Attaboy.
Phuket. I bought a one-way ticket. I was contracting for this company called Armor Group, North America.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're fucking.
Yeah.
So the reason their contractors can no longer drink in Iraq or Afghanistan are because I've never actually said this story on any media or whatever.
So no shit.
That's
There
okay.
it
Only
was.
like 4 people listen to us. Yeah, so start it with so no shit. There it was.
So no shit, there I was.
There you go.
Right. In Afghanistan, 2010-ish, right? 2009, something like that. And I'm watching the TV, and then there's some dude that's like, he was my team leader, and we had to do mandatory training on our break, 4-hour break, and it'd be something stupid like, here's a class on the saw, and it's like, we all know how to fucking use a saw, but you had to just make up some bullshit training, right? It was part of protocol.
Checks in the box.
Right. And so he's like, come here, we're gonna do a class on the saw. And I'm fucking sitting down in the break room and CNN is playing. And it's like, the caption says, Mercenaries Gone Wild. And I'm just looking and I'm like, what the fuck? And it's everybody that I work with, all my coworkers, they're all naked, blurred out fucking privates, and their eyes are blacked out. And it says Mercenaries Gone Wild. And then another caption said like Lord of the Flies, and it's saying sexual lewd acts, contractors, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And it's all my coworkers. I literally recognize everybody. Like I've, been on
You're
scene.
like, I recognize that black box.
Yeah, 100%. And so I'm looking at all this shit. And then the guy's like, hey, come over here. We're going to do a class on the saw. I was like, no, Chris, you get over here. He's like, God damn it, Governale, let's just fucking get over it with. I'm like, no, motherfucker. He's my team leader. I'm like, you get over here. And he's like, what could be so good? Holy fuck. And our whole, we just sit down and we're literally like, I'm at the US Embassy watching all my coworkers fucking butt naked on TV, right? So
Kabul?
in Kabul, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we get back, we had to like patrol to and from the embassy from our base. And we get back and all the owners of the company are pacing and they're like, turn in your firearms, all of you. And we're like, what the fuck? So we weren't allowed to have any of our weapons while we were like not on duty working at the US Embassy. And I was like, what the fuck? And what happened was one dude got fired and he was like bitter over why he was getting fired. This is the real story of what happened. And what he did was he would, and granted, this shit shouldn't have, this is fucking weird, but I used to contract with like a bunch of SAS dudes and fucking Kiwi SAS and like South African like badass cops and just a bunch of bad motherfuckers, dude. And for some reason, the fucking narrative became like, oh, I can be gayer than you and prove I'm still straight. So it just got gayer
gay
and
chicken.
gayer and
It's
gayer.
gay chicken.
And dude,
Yeah.
you have to understand, this is peak like combat years.
Mike and I
you know?
are playing. We're getting ready to adopt our first
And
kid.
These
Yeah.
guys
He
are
might
all
actually
fucking
be gay.
yeah. And these guys, dude, they were the video that they played, and the guy, I know him. He was taking a shot out of some other dude's ass. He like bent over and they poured like a shot of liquor down his ass crack, and my friend got under and drank it, right?
Yeah,
And so
I think he wins gay chicken.
Yeah.
At that point.
oh, dude, and so what was
I
happening?
vaguely fucking remember
Yes.
watching this
Yes.
fucking thing in Iraq.
Yes.
Because we were all watching the TV going, that's not too bad.
I remember when that happened, and because I was still in, and I remember my LT. We were watching it, and my LT just went. So any of you motherfuckers that were thinking about contracting and getting out, that's what you have to look forward to.
It was
And we were all
terrible,
like,
dude. So
I was like,
one dude was
what's
getting
it pay?
fired.
Better money and,
Yeah.
and I get to fuck around like that.
Dude, one dude walked around and he just would be like, get in the picture. And he just started taking photos because what they would do to save money is they would fire you, but they'd be like, you're going to get paid until you leave. We found you a cheap-ish flight and it's in 10 days. So you're going to get paid for 10 days, but then you're out of here. And he's like, cool. So what he did was he just took a bunch of photos of all this crazy shit that would happen.
Dropped him to a fucking
Yeah.
reporter.
Yeah.
And no. He fucking mailed everything to, at the time, Secretary of State was Hillary Clinton. So he emailed everything to Hillary Clinton, and I'm fucking in the break room, and it's just like, Mercenaries Gone Wild. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so then they flew in federal investigators, and they flew them in, and they would drop a folder. And mind you, I was like 20 fucking 4, right? So now I'm like mature enough to be like, this, but at 24, you're still like, hee, a penis, right? And so they fucking drop like this fucking folder, manila folder, and they're like, do you know these men? And they slide it over, and I open it, and I want to laugh. So it was the gayest shit,
just-
uncensored.
It's just all dicks.
A ton of dicks, and they're all my friends' dicks. And you know what I'm saying? And I'd been at these parties and seen them, and they're like, do you know these men? And I just bit my cheeks because it was a super serious investigation. I'm like, yeah, I know these men.
yeah,
Like, and then they're like,
I can totally ID this dick lineup.
yeah. And they're like, do you know them? And I was like, yeah, I know who they are. And they're like, were you ever at these parties? I was like, nah, I mean, I would walk, to the dude. I remember specifically playing horseshoes naked I don't even know what happened, but it was me and my friend playing like, oh, you're gonna miss this horseshoe. By the time you know, we're both butt naked, like 4 a.m. playing horseshoes. And the next shift is walking out to go take duty and patrol to the embassy. And they all walk out with their guns and they're like, God damn it, you two fucking idiots. And we're like just naked. We're like, what? And they're like, put your clothes on and go to bed. And it was one of those like you'd wake up the next day and be like, ah, fuck, last night was rough. Like playing horseshoes naked. But it wasn't like anything.
So you're the reason when I was contracted in Kabul, I couldn't fucking drink. Thanks,
dude,
buddy.
That is the exact reason why today, in today's day and age, contractors cannot drink liquor overseas. And there's also dude going to like whorehouses and shit. It wasn't never me because.
Well, do you remember the whole? They made a movie about it actually. The whole thing in Kosovo where they were running like fucking sex trafficking. The contractors were. It was
I
right
never saw
around
the
the
movie.
same time.
Yeah, it was. Bro, I used to go to bars in
The guy
Kabul.
that was in charge of that was fucking my project manager out of the fucking not my PM in country, but my one back in the States. The guy that was in charge of that fucking whole thing at Kosovo when I was
yeah.
contracting was my fucking boss's boss.
That's a trip. I'm not down with like human trafficking and shit, obviously.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was actually human trafficking. They were running hookers. You know what I mean? But they were like, it was like Ukrainian hookers that were
Everybody
already
needs
there.
a side gig.
They were already going to be hookers. Like, the ladies were getting their cuts. They were just
How do you think
basically
Jim affords that car of his?
right. Shit.
But dude, those days back in the day, we would just
I'm running guys like you.
Yeah.
we would just fucking
Dude, I would go for high dollar in the right circles.
Well,
we would
You're a
just
little
go
guy,
out of the
they'd love
town.
you.
We'd go out in the town in like Kabul in Afghanistan and just go to bars with just a pistol. And it was fucking dope, dude. They'd be like, avoid this area. There's a car bomb here yesterday. And you'd see like a blown up car and just scare. And I'd be like, I'm drinking in Afghanistan. And then I went to a fucking, this is also something that's interesting that people don't see. And I've never said this on media. And I think it's important to see this kind of shit on media, right? Because I've been out of the Marine Corps for fucking years, right? And I'm not selling anybody out. I'm just being fucking honest. This is what I saw. Australia Day 2009, I want to say, right? Somebody picked me up in a 4Runner outside my base because we're allowed to do whatever the fuck we want. And I went to this compound, and on the roof of this compound were a bunch of Afghans with AKs, right? And we all just had pistols, nothing crazy. But it was a bunch of fucking Secretary, Department of State, fucking USAID, UN, all these, and people were just wasted, dude, making out. I just got out of a legit war zone. Like I came back from Iraq like in like July the year prior, and it had only been like 6 months, and I was already fucking in Afghanistan. So in my mind, it was like we are in combat. I'm still like looking around, and I'm at this compound in town, not on like a secured base. This is a legit, just a house in the middle of nowhere. And I'm watching everybody party, and they were doing like goat races and shit. And they would play this game where they
It's
would
a fucking
be like,
Taliban leader's fucking house.
dude, yeah, and they would pay them, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't attack this building.
Isn't it the same era where that female lieutenant colonel got relieved because it turned out she was trading sexual favors for equipment?
I don't
Like
know.
American gear that was
But-
getting sold
but
off.
dude-
You'd go in and bang her. She'd give you American stuff.
Dude, they would have
It's a
these
bargain.
competitions, and they'd be like, okay, like UN line up here, this country of whatever line up here, and they would line up. And what you had to like chug a beer, and when you were done chugging, you would turn the can upside down on your head. Now, a lot of these people were in business suits, right? They were like legit diplomats, and they would chug the beer, and they wouldn't finish the beer in time, but they were losing the race, so they would just turn like an unfinished beer over their head like this, and it would be pouring all over their suit, and they would be laughing. And I was watching all this shit go down, and I'm like, these are the motherfuckers making the decisions for war.
Dude, they're the worst. Like Department of State, we had them on and every fucking Thursday they'd be drinking. They drink with their security detail, and they were all Aegis guys. So there were Kiwis, we had Fijians, we had all kinds of guys. And my
Yeah.
boss like, you guys can go up there. Just can't
Fijians
fucking drink.
why are Fijians so huge?
They're yeah.
Why are they so
These
huge?
guys are fucking
Polynesia.
It's like
Polynesia back in the day.
Samoans.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
fucking
Fucking
Polynesians.
huge.
And they would drink, and these guys were. That's all they did is fucking drink.
And they're making all the decisions. And again, on that same, like, I don't even want to call it a deployment. I was just fucking a contractor, right? But like my unit went back to Afghanistan, and I lost a dude that used to be in my platoon, right? There's a guy I knew very well. It doesn't matter. Like, we've all got friends. I don't want to be like, I lost this guy. This guy lost his legs. Another guy in my platoon lost all 4 limbs. Like, all this shit is happening. And these are the motherfuckers in Kabul making the decisions. And that is where the wheels started turning, where you know that phrase, war's a racket, Smedley Butler, everyone knows that book, right?
Yeah.
The man literally had 2 medals of honor, right? Wrote a fucking book, most decorated man in the Marine Corps. That doesn't make the Commandant reading list, but it was an anti-war book saying war is a racket. And he even gives, statistics on how many millionaires there are before the war and then after the war.
Nobody has made more money than those that are able to conduct war.
Right.
Not war fighters, but the ones that actually get to declare that we're waging war.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those are the ones that all
Look
make
at all
the
the
money.
money these fucking people are making sending shit to fucking the Ukraine.
Yeah, dog. Yeah.
Everything.
3 letters. KBR. Those motherfuckers.
They started that
cleaned
shit once
up.
they saw how good Kosovo and Bosnia was, because I
Yep.
was over in Bosnia too. And once they saw that shit, they're like, this is the fucking preamble. We need to kick this off real.
Especially when you can start classifying it as aid.
Yep.
That changes
Dude,
the game.
I don't even agree with. I'm being honest. I don't give a fuck. Everyone has their own views. I'm not influenced by anybody. This is just my own opinion. Maybe it's because I'm Mexican. I don't know. But I think the border wall idea was fucking trash. I think they're gonna come over or under the fence regardless. But to that point, we've
We
already
already
spent.
had mile-long tunnels. I'm not really
That's
sure
what
what
I'm
the
saying.
fuck a wall's
So
gonna do.
yeah, I don't think so
Like,
either. But everybody made a big fuss on the left, and I just want to clarify. I think everybody all the way left and all the way right, you're fucking stupid. You can't think on your own.
Bro,
Agreed.
we say it all the time on here.
Agreed.
Okay, so with that said, dude, we spent more than like 10 times more than what we were gonna spend on the proposed border wall, and everybody's like, no, you fucking idiot, no, you idiot, Trump. And I wasn't the biggest Trump fan. I'm definitely not a fucking Joe Biden fan, right? But everybody's making this big deal, and we've already spent like 10 times more than that in just a couple months going to Ukraine, and nobody's batting a fucking eye. And I'm like, these are our taxpayer dollars.
No, it's cool.
Dude.
Like,
But it isn't even
apparently,
bullshit. They're
Apparently, we
fucking-
can sell oil to China,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we can't
What the
unlock the
fuck?
oil reserve for the U.S.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so
They unlocked it and
Oh,
sold
they
it
did
to
unlock
China.
it. They unlocked it and they sold it to China, and some is going to Europe, right? But our
Now,
gas prices are
Here's my
whatever.
only caveat to that. If they're giving it to China to open up the supply line,
it needs to go against our debt.
I'd be like, okay. If that too, it'll go against our debt and to open the supply line to get the fucking all the boats that are sitting off fucking Long Beach into port. If they fucking did that, okay,
No,
get
no,
that.
that's a health risk.
right? It's a health risk. like, I would understand
Here's your
that.
hand.
I would understand that. You got him.
Thanks, brother. My bad.
I know what you've been fucking. You're a shit eater though, so
I need some ice too.
Yeah. Definitely like was under here like fingering myself.
Did you just wipe it off on your shirt?
Yeah, it's all good.
The shirt's
The
clean.
alcohol will kill it. The alcohol will kill it, and then we'll kill ourselves.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm kidding.
Little 22, it's fine.
23 now. Get it? Too soon? Tough crowd. That was a suicide joke.
Me and Mandeville go back and forth on suicide jokes daily.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of 22 jokes in our life.
One time I made a joke. I'm not going to say the place of work.
Hey, Taylor Swift wrote a whole song about it.
Yeah. And
Facts.
she's not canceled.
Yeah.
But one time I got called into an office about making suicide jokes. And then they said, hey, your suicide jokes have come to my attention on multiple occasions. And then I thought they were joking. So I go, fuck. And I go, and they're like, I'm serious, Justin. And I was like, fuck. All right, my bad. I'll stop, I'll stop joking about it and I'll just actually fucking do
Yeah,
it. Like,
fine. I'll just finally fucking
Yeah.
eat a bullet. It's fine.
it's the only way I deal with it.
yeah, but
So you got a potential fight coming up. You got your endeavor that we can't talk about coming up, and then you're also doing stand up in the local area.
Yeah.
What room? Because I know they closed down Jokester 22, which was another good suicide joke, and they
I
closed
typically
But-
perform at the Blind Tiger, right? It's inside the Magic Time Machine. It's pretty cool. I am going to do my first, I've done some smaller LOL gigs, but they're going to put me on the main stage
Nice.
on Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club here in San
How
Antonio.
long do you have to get? Like, so
down. Is it like type fives? Or
how
is
long?
it like,
How long's your bit?
I've got a 4-minute typically that I do at least every week, but I'll get booked for 5, 7. I did a 7. No, I did a 9-minute actually this last Saturday, and then I'm getting 7 to 10 minutes at LOL August 3rd at the Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club in
It's so
San Antonio.
fucking hard, man. Like comedy is so fucking hard.
Yeah, no, I'm
Dude,
a
you wanna
pussy.
talk about
I'm
a
a pussy. I won't
grind?
do it. I write bits all day.
You
I
want
have
to talk about a grind?
bits written all the time.
Comedy is a grind.
And
Oh, yeah, dude.
I'm such a bitch. I
Yeah,
won't
it's
get
like
on
you've been
stage
doing
and
it
do
for
Four
fucking
minutes
ever.
at a time.
Yeah.
It's
I
4
mean-
minutes at a time until somebody will like take you seriously enough to be like, all right, you can have 9.
So
And
I've been
it's
doing
like,
this shit 2.5
fuck.
years, right?
Yeah.
And I finally got invited to my first LOL gig. LOL is like the main comedy club in San
It's a
Antonio,
great
right?
club.
And they're finally like, and it's on a Wednesday night, right? And they're like, yo, we're gonna have you as a guest spot, 7 to 10 minutes. You good? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, can you sell tickets? And I'm like, yeah, fucking yeah, for sure. And that's what it's like fighting, dude. It's like a promoter's like, how many tickets can you sell? And it's like, bitch. But
Well,
comedy's
when is it?
August 3rd.
August
August
3rd.
3rd, San
Fuck
Antonio,
yeah.
Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club.
There
I'm
you
gonna
go.
post about
Yeah.
it here
Check
in like
that
a
out,
couple
man.
days. Yeah, dog. Fuck
We'll
yeah.
throw-
I
we'll throw
forgot.
it
I
in
forgot
the,
this media.
We'll throw it in the description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys don't go, I'm gonna
I want free tickets though.
myself. Yeah.
I'm not paying for that shit.
Yeah, for sure. Dude,
No,
people,
I'll fucking pay because that's the whole fucking
Yeah,
point.
whatever.
Right?
I'll go.
Yeah.
people
This
do that
fucking
shit
guy.
for they do that shit for
We
fighting.
can't go on a Wednesday. We have other responsibilities.
For him.
Yeah, let's go,
fucking.
dog.
I'd rather get shot at than have to fucking come up with 10 minutes to make motherfuckers. Especially like you've got. a
Sometimes you
career
bomb,
to,
bro.
to mine.
Yeah.
Like you can mine, but once you've done it for 10 years, like I'm no longer mining life. I've got to come up with new shit.
Yeah, constantly.
Yeah.
So we have a creative writing session every week, and what we do is like it's all comics, and you don't deliver the bit. you deliver what you want to talk about. And it has to be new every week. And if you're not participating, they typically won't let you go up on that Friday, like at that club.
Yeah.
Right. They'll be like, nah, you're fucking wasting our time. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a real fucking thing. And sometimes some of the comics will be like, hack, you know, like it's too easy.
Great.
Or they'll be like, why is that funny? But why? And you're like, oh, well, I was thinking, you start backpedaling, you know, and they're like, I'm just trying to make you think.
Dude.
And so it's like a fucking, it's an interesting community, man. It's,
I have so many good bits written in this fucking phone that I'm just too much of a bitch to get on
Just
stage and
fucking,
do it.
like I'd have to do it like speech writing for generals, like put a funny thing in there. And I'm like, no, I'll write another 30 minutes of this motherfucker dribbling on about bullshit. But what's funny? I don't know. What's funny to me ain't funny to somebody else unless you've got a gift.
Yeah.
So what I've realized is that you have two types of comics, right? You have your joke teller and then you have your storyteller, right? And there's multiple people that'll tell you different shit. Like, oh, there's 6 types of comics or 5, right? But for me, can I get a little bit, please? Yeah, dog. Right there, that's good.
Can I get a little
Mikey,
bit?
Mikey,
Can I get
don't
a
kill
little bit
me.
there,
Just
buddy?
a little bit.
Yeah, just a little.
Thank you,
Just a splash.
asshole.
Just a fucking.
Fuck.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
Such a
Fuck.
dick.
That was, yeah.
Murdering you next time we go
Can I
drinking.
get some more ice?
Yeah.
For the fucking 7 fingers you just poured in my glass.
And so typically you got your joke tellers and you got your storytellers, right? And it's your job as a storyteller. You tell stories. I feel like I do it naturally, but you have to find the funny within the story, right? And the way that you do that is you do a bunch of smaller bits and you record yourself. And so when you record yourself on your audio like this, you'll say your bit, and sometimes you'll give your entire punchline, right? And you'll be like, here it is. And you're like, cause that makes sense. And you drop it and no one fucking laughs. And every crowd is different, right? So
Did you ever see that interview with Ron White
have not.
about when he started comedy?
No.
And he was like, I had no idea how to tell a story. So I'd do my 2-sentence setup and then I'd deliver the punchline. And I'd do my 2-sentence setup and I'd deliver a punchline. And he was like, and I was bombing and bombing and bombing and bombing. And it wasn't until another comedian pulled me aside and was like, stop.
Just tell a fucking story.
Yes.
Tell your story and
Yes.
do your setup and then go to another setup. And don't and then loop back and deliver your punchlines afterwards.
Layers, man.
And let your story marinate.
Yes.
And then come back and deliver the punchline afterwards. It's got far more power. But Ron White, one of the biggest comedians of all time, was like, it was 10 years. It was 10 years of figuring out why I couldn't get a laugh.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this again 2.5 years, right? Any comic watching this will be like fucking noob,
Ron's
like,
one of my favorites though. So.
And what you learn, I've had comics give me the same advice, similar advice, and they say like, you know, you try and tell jokes, right? And I'll be like, oh, you know, and I'll say a joke, and then after they pull me aside and they're like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're a fucking storyteller. You're a story. Stop telling jokes. And it's like if you get somebody that's a joke teller to tell stories, right? Eventually you're like, motherfucker, are you this or are you that?
Yeah, pick one.
And if you're a storyteller, you have to find the funny in between. Like one of the things I say is, I said it earlier, but you say, that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that some of those penises were uncircumcised and everybody laughs. And then I'll point to one man and I'll be like, if you're not laughing at that joke, you have a sad penis. And then I'll look at him and I'll point. I'll be like, everyone look in. Yeah, he's not circumcised.
That guy right
and
there.
everybody laughs, right?
That
And-
guy's got an anteater dick.
yeah. And
Still
so what you
rocking
do
a
is
turtleneck.
you find the funny
Vark.
within your story, but you still
lose a
tell
lot
the
of heat
story.
from the neck.
So it's fucking, it's fun, man. I think stand up, it's a great transition out of comedy or out of fighting, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm 36. I got a few fights left. Fighting's great. It's been good to me, but my body's fucked up, dude. So
Dude, I'm older than you and I've never fought and my body doesn't
Yeah.
have enough fucking
So
left.
I got a couple left, you know.
I dabbled in the amateur world for a while, and it's not sustainable. You know, it's just not. Like,
You're the bill for it or you're not. I used it. I did like 4 months to get ready for deployment. And after that, I was like, this is not for me. And I kickboxed in high school and I'm like, fuck no.
Oh.
I'm not getting fucking crushed.
I've
This is awful.
got a fighter in my store.
hey,
And
Justin.
he came out of retirement. Now he's going to go fight again. And I'm like, bro, get into powerlifting or some shit. Like something where you're not, the impact is
Yeah.
fucking lower. Like
Getting punched in the face.
Yeah, for me,
blows.
it's
dude,
comedy at this point.
Can you tell me what a figure 4 choke is?
A figure 4, like a fucking rear naked choke.
Yes, thank you. Say.
yeah, it's a rear naked choke. In the manual, it's FIG period 4, and that's why
that's their theory, is that the reason why the Marines call it a figure 4 choke is because in the manual the picture was figure 4. That's their theory. It makes sense. But I was telling a story one time because I was a McMap instructor, which is a very weird fucking flex, and I was talking about a figure 4 choke where
McMap with cheese.
I threw a guy in a figure 4, and they're like, "What the fuck is a figure 4?" And I explained it to them, and they were like, "You mean a rear naked?" I'm like, "Yeah, same thing."
It's not the same thing.
It's
just that in the manual, the picture was figure 4. So it was like figure 1, figure 2,
you know what's
figure
funny
3,
is it
figure 4.
doesn't really matter the name of the chokes, right? Because for literally
Because if you're
thousands-
receiving it, you really don't care what the fuck it's called.
thousands of years, this shit's been around. There's been moves that I thought that I've invented, and like, you know, early on when I've been training 15 years now. And, you know, early on, a couple years in, I was like, I came up with this. And then I go to a class one day and some black belt's like, all right, this next. And you're like, oh, and he didn't learn it. Somebody taught it to
You're
him.
like, that's an omoplata. You're like, oh, fuck.
There's been shit that's been going on for fucking years and
Yeah,
years.
and
you know
nobody's
what I mean?
really revolutionizing it. It's just they're maybe adapting the disciplines a little bit, but
People
all
have
of
been
the
doing this-
it's around a long ass
Dude,
time.
Animals, like, so this is me speaking, the black belt in me is speaking like animals do jiu-jitsu, right? And it's crazy philosophy, but it's fucking real. You ever watch kangaroos fight? They fucking choke each other unconscious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, look at how most cats kill.
Yeah.
Most big cats. If you actually look at that, and
It's more of a
yes, they
it's
get
more of a
sharp
hold down
objects,
than-
but it is more of it's a hold and then
yeah.
it's a hold, incapacitate,
It's
and then
beautiful,
it's to the neck, and then it's like
Dude, I
it's
had
the
a-
same system.
Choking another human being though is like in training and even in competition, satisfying. Having to do it in real life and putting a motherfucker to sleep, the best.
Yeah,
The
that is a feeling that
And
is
it's
just
fucked up.
wonderful.
Dude,
That's
I'm not-
the only thing about
I
being a
don't
door
fight-
guy in a bar that I miss is choking dudes out.
I don't get in fights anymore.
When you sink it and you feel, you know, you've got it, and you just like,
I don't fight
So-
anymore because I haven't found anybody that can box a bullet.
Dude, I won't fight anybody. I won't fight anybody. Like, I'll do my best to fucking avoid it. But sometimes the fight is about an actual lesson. Like, I've had so many people be like, oh, you're so fucking gay. And I'm like, I'm the gayest ever, dude. I'll suck all your dicks. Yours too. And they're like, what the fuck? Right, cool. But one time,
That's why I don't go to dirt floor bars without Mikey.
Yeah. I was at the St.
confirm
Mary's
that.
Strip. I was at the St. Mary's Strip here in San Antonio, right?
I used to bartend down there. It's a
And-
terrible place.
Yeah, it's terrible. But it's fun in sometimes, you know.
You go
but-
Brass Monkey on Tuesdays.
It was this dude. One of my buddies came.
It's gay night.
Yeah, it's Thursdays. Thursdays, bro.
Is
You get it straight. You don't even know your days.
Thursdays?
You're
I
not a
love
real
Thursday,
gay,
dude.
You're not a real
They
gay.
just imported that shit.
Yeah, you're not a real gay, dude. You're a fake gay, dude.
I'm a fake gay.
Yeah, you wouldn't even finish. I bet. You know.
You're
Anyway,
amateur level.
and so,
I mean, I'd probably finish.
dude, this man threw my cell phone.
Mouth to mouth.
He just grabbed my cell phone, like I had it in my phone, or I just had my phone like this, and then some random dude grabbed my cell phone and he fucking threw it like it went flying.
I guess he didn't notice your ears.
Yeah, right.
Dude, he threw it.
Let's
and-
pick on the guy with cauliflower ear.
And
Doesn't really have ears.
yeah, everybody else, yeah, they're fucking. Anyway, so yeah, man, this man throws my phone, and I'm with a Marine buddy of mine that I went to sniper school with like fucking decade plus ago. And he's randomly visiting me, and he sees his shit, and he's kind of like, he's humble. He went through the first push in Fallujah with 2-1. He's a scout sniper. He's been through his shit, and he's just kind of like, there's no need. Like, there comes a point where you get a little older, and you're like, this is fucking stupid.
I don't care.
Yeah, he runs, he grabs my phone, and he's like, hey, brother, it still works, man. And I was just like, you know, I look at the man, and he starts pushing me on top of a car, and I look behind him, and I see cops everywhere, and I'm
Sounds like the guy was trying to fuck.
well, yeah. So here's what I think, though. As he's pushing me on top of a car, I look around, and I see cops. I'm so calm that I'm like, if I fight this man, I'm going to get arrested. So I'm like, no, please, no, right? And so he's like, yeah, that's right, bitch. And my friend gives me my cell phone, and he's like, hey, bro, let's go. And I look at him, and I'm like, I need to take care. And he goes, handle, bro. I'll pull the car around, like real militant, right? I'll hook the I'm like, yeah. So I run across the street, and I run up the street, and I run back this way. And now this man's walking upstream, right? Up just like this. And as I'm running, I'm thinking of like, I'm kind of drunk, but I'm like, Marine Corps, right? They teach you in Scout Sniper School. Know where you're at. Know where the OP is at. Keep something between you and the OP. So what I do is I find a telephone pole and I keep it between me and him. It's like this big pole. And I just start sprinting towards it. Now this man is unsuspecting, just walking towards me, has zero clue. I get to the pole. I learned a tactic in Hawaii when I saw these Samoans pretending to vomit. They're like, ugh. And one dude starts a fight with a Marine. And this Marine has like 2 Marines with him. But there's like 5 or 6 Samoans and they're all pretending to vomit. And I look around. This guy's not my friend. So I'm kind of like, you know, they say every Marine, like, well, they're y'all my brothers, and like I would die for Marine. I didn't know this fucking idiot, but he started the fight with the Samoan, right? So all those Samoans are pretending to vomit, right? As soon as they get aggressive, all these Samoans just storm out and they beat the fuck out of these Marines. And instead of helping, I'm like, I'm out, dude. I don't know that fucking guy. And so I took off running. Anyway,
It's like white guy loyalty.
dude, so I
not a
remember
thing.
that shit. And so what I did was I see him and I'm like, oh fuck. So I put my hand on the pole. That moment popped into my head, right? Life experience. I put my hand on the pole and I start pretending to vomit. I'm like, huh? And he walks past me. And then I walk up and I'm like, hey, what's up, dog? Remember me? But now he's alone, no crowd, right? Nobody to stop the fight. And it's just me and him. So I was like, what's up, dog? Remember me? And he's like, as his eyes are lit up, I just fucking turn him around, just boom, I put him in a figure 4 choke. Anyway, so I turn him around, right? I fucking put him in that choke, and he just, and granted, he was a fucking nobody, right? But it was the easiest choke I've ever put in my life because he's doesn't know anything, and his hands just went limp, and I didn't even drop him. I set him down real nice and
Lay
slow,
him down nice,
super slow, right? And on the way down, I literally was so calm that I heard somebody say, some dude yelled out, "Tap out!" And then I heard some other chick in the background because everything slows down when you're like, dealing with shit. So I heard "tap out," and I heard some girl say, "Don't kill him." And I set him down real nice and slow. I left him nose down, and I was like, and some of the other dudes walking by with this chick, he's like, "Kick him, bro, kick!" And I just start running, and
fucking,
and
other people are the fucking problem, man.
And
It's
so-
never you.
I was calm because again, I'm a black belt, right? So it's like I knew this. There's no need. Like the man's gonna wake up unharmed, unscathed, and he's gonna be like, "Fuck, I better not throw another man's cell phone," right?
Yeah.
And so as I'm running,
Won't do that again.
yeah, as I'm running, some dude's like, "Why'd you do that?" And he gets in front of me trying to be a fucking hero. And I'm like trying to get past him, and I'm sprinting, and he kicks my foot out from under me. And I just stumble, but I don't fall. And I take a couple stutter steps as I'm getting my feet back under me. And I'm like, he tried to break my cell phone. And I just keep running. And then my buddy's vehicle, right before it happened, like right when I was pretending to throw up, my phone rings, right? And I answer. He's like, "Where are you at?" Oh shit. I see you. I'm gonna hook her right. And it's my boy from sniper school. And so I fucking run, and I get in the car, and he just puts it in drive real slow. He's like, and he looks at me and he goes, "Fuck yeah, bro." And he doesn't burn out. He just drives off real slow.
That's experience right there, man.
And he drives off real slow. And then I'm like, "Hey man, we need to go back around." And he's like, "Why?" And I said, "I need to make sure I can tell this story. Like if he's fucking dead, right? I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not going to say this on your guys' podcast." So we hook around. And then my Marine buddy's like, "We better hope we don't see him." I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "Cause now I'm going to fuck him up." I'm like, no. Like
Round two.
He's fine. And so we go back and he's gone. And then I go to work the next day, and I go to incognito tab, and I'm like Googling like man strangled, St. Mary's strip. And I'm just looking for all these news updates. I don't see shit. So then I'm like, I'm all quiet and hungover on like a Friday, and I look around at everybody. It was a Thursday, but I look around and I'm like, "Okay, guys," and I tell everyone the story, and they're like, "Yeah." It was like the most excitement we had in the office that day, and I go back to working like fucking. But anyway, super fucking ridiculous. Like you should not fight on the street, but that was a literal life lesson. Because on that Friday, "Hey,
Yeah,
are we
that
going
dude
out
needed
tonight?
that.
Yeah, we gonna go out tonight?" Like, "No, man, I think I'm
The
gonna take it
life
chill."
lesson I got from this is you really like anything involving dick.
Yes,
Yeah,
Thursdays and another man
100%.
choking
Just-
another man,
yeah, just-
figure 4 choke.
That's-
Fucking.
Dude, we don't kink shame around here.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah.
good.
That's a rule here on the show.
Yeah,
It's
we don't
no
kink
kink
Only
shaming.
gay if you tell somebody. Because if no one finds out, you're not actually
Well,
gay.
you just told
Yeah,
all
yeah.
23 people
Yeah,
that
yeah.
listen to this
Right?
podcast.
Jesus. Well, boys,
Yeah.
that's a pretty solid show.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I'd jerk off to it.
What do
You
you think I've
jerk
been
off to
doing over
anything.
here? But that's why I got these
You're
small
projecting.
shorts on.
You're projecting right now.
That's why I got these.
Oh,
gay?
like, no, you're actually projecting. Stop. Yeah. My eyes.
That's
eyes.
projectiling.
Yeah.
Face, neck, and chest.
Rain down. And so brought to you by warfightertobacco.com. Use that code FTFO. Screw yourself that sweet 15% off. John and Scott will be back next week. Probably Dave too. So yeah. By the way, they're in Vegas doing cigar
They're working.
things. They're busy as fuck in Vegas right now. They're not having fun. I know that.
They're killing it though.
Oh, I bet they
From
are.
this is
crushing it,
Warfighter
but
said
they're-
they're killing it.
I bet they're
So,
crushing it,
yeah.
dude. Also, wellness.us for all your CBD needs. Use that code FreedomFriends25. Get yourself a quarter off your order over there. And of course, Icy Tech Coolers. Use that code FreedomFriends10. Get yourself 10% off. Justin, thanks for coming on. Big Jim, as always. Thanks,
Absolutely.
brother.
August 3rd, LOL Comedy Club.
Yes,
That's all I
August
got.
3rd, LOL
Buy your
Comedy Club.
tickets.
Justin, shout out your social media and everything, man.
Yeah.
At Justin Governale. That's G-O-V as in vagina, E-R-N-A-L-E. I used to say Victor, but then that's too militant.
That's government.
At Justin Governale on all my socials.
All right.
Fucking I.
Yeah, dog.
I'll just raise my glass. I'm going to say thanks for being my freedom friends, boys.
Yeah, dude.
Cheers, cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, bro.
3 little words to live by. 3 little things. They're not hard to do. Jazz, hit them with the first one.
Fucking smoke on.
Jim?
Drink on.
And God damn it, kids.
Freedom the fuck on.
We'll see you next time. Pussies.